So, people, I need to tell you that we're live. Welcome to the review of SummerSlam. It wasn't the greatest pay-per-view. Alright, I'm done. Anyway, welcome everybody to the podcast Legend Killers with your special guest, John Ascare. Say hello to the people, John.
Hello.
Alright, so I want to say one thing. Eddie Nigma and I were supposed to podcast with a list. As some of you know, we do this commonly with, top 10 lists, best and worst. Our list for this month was supposed to be top 10 best SummerSlam years, best and worst. If I had compiled my list after watching SummerSlam 2017, you better believe 2017 is going to end up on this list as a year. So, John, what's it called? You want to talk about the good or the bad first?
The bad matches? Or the bad, freaking SummerSlams?
The good being NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and then the bad being SummerSlam.
Okay, let's talk about NXT.
Alright, cool. So, honestly, I had the time of my life watching this show. From start to finish. My God. Alright, let's talk about Gargano and Ciampa. That was a damn fun match between those two, wouldn't you say?
That was an amazing match. That was one of my favorite for SummerSlam, for freaking NXT Takeover.
SummerSlam.
Almost said SummerSlam.
That should have been a SummerSlam match, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that should have been on SummerSlam as a main event.
Man, it was wall-to-wall action. I love everything about this match because it was one of those matches that didn't really need some slow-paced action in there. And I'm all for slow-paced action. I think it makes for good ring psychology. Work the limb, target something, and try to wear your opponents down. I'm all for that stuff. I understand that stuff. It makes sense. This had none of that. It was just wall-to-wall, motion after motion after motion after motion. And I can appreciate it. As a former wrestler myself, I can appreciate it because, it's so hard to, stay in motion all at once because of the conditioning and stuff like that. So when I see a match like this, oh my God, was I going crazy when I was seeing this match. I loved every single thing, every spot on here. I was really happy with one spot in particular. I'm trying to pinpoint it. I think it was come on. It was one both you and me were marking out to, John. You remember which spot I'm talking about?
I don't know. We liked a lot of the spots, so it's hard to pick a certain spot that you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, all right. I did like the spot where he did the slingshot DDT, Gargano did, and then spiked him right in his head, and he just flipped a whole 180. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in here. Is there any spot in particular that you really wanted to talk about that you really liked?
That the one that you mentioned was great. I liked it when. Let me think. I don't know. There's so many good spots. In particular, I liked it when what's that guy's name? I know. I'm sorry, because I'm new to NXT.
Andre
I don't know his
Cien.
name. Yeah, when he picked up Gargano in that position when he picked him up in the when he was holding him, because like that kind of like shows that like how strong he is, because
Oh
that's
yeah,
like all
yeah.
strength.
He picked him up
That's
like
all
right
strength.
from the ground up into like that
Yeah.
power bomb. Yeah, yeah. That was yeah.
That
I thought
was
that
really
was a really
good.
cool spot. Yeah. What'd you think of the finish? I thought it made perfect sense. I thought it was really
Yeah.
good. Hmm. Nothing but praises for that match. All right, so next we got the Authors of Pain versus Sanity. So to equate it to you, John, because this is how you best know them. The Thumbs versus Watchdogs.
Oh yes, the Watchdogs were yes very. I like this match, except the why they were on Ninja Turtles or something.
uh, and I couldn't help but laugh at the ring gear. You know, I understand
Yeah.
to some it looked cool. To us, it just looked kind of ridiculous. We started laughing. I thought in particular
Yeah.
this the spot was hilarious when Razor tried to go for that power bomb, like that double team power bomb superplex, and he ended up just power bombing his own
Oh
damn
yeah, his own
opponent.
brother.
Yeah, I started laughing my ass off, man. That spot was almost as ridiculous as when Roman tried to spear Braun Strowman into the ambulance, and then Roman just falls into the ambulance. Braun Strowman slams the door. Roman's the loser. Holy shit, man. That was too funny. Um, but man, it was a hell of a match, that one too. My question was, was Nikki Cross okay after being, as John coined it, sandwiched by Killian Dane and Akeem or Razor, whichever one of those two, through that table? That was some crazy stuff
Yeah,
right
they were.
there.
She was sandwiched.
Man,
But
oh,
that was a really good match.
mm, all right. With all that being said, the Authors of Pain came out your losers, and Sanity came out your new NXT Tag Team Champions. Um, I came out of this thinking to myself, uh, Authors of Pain are getting their call up soon, possibly. Um, I wouldn't do it because they're not really established altogether. In terms of in the ring, you don't really know how savvy they are just yet. I don't think, but I could be wrong. Um, yeah, it would be something to see them. Who knows what you could do with them, but yeah. All right, so next we got Hideo Itami versus Aleister Black. This was probably my favorite match of the night. John, thoughts?
Very good match. They're they were going 110%. They were just all like they were just punching each other. They were kicking each other so hard, and
Mm-hmm.
you could just hear the slaps of each one they were
Yeah,
making. It was just it was good. It was just
yeah,
I don't know how they did it.
and I mean, their mentality, I think, was just make a noise as much as you can, and that's what they certainly did. I mean, half the time, um, I was hearing this match and my teeth were hurting me. My teeth were killing me just at the thought of this match. Just listening to them just slap each other and hit each other and kick each other, like especially a lot of face shots. I was like, ah. But it made it even better. Aleister Black, seemed to have gotten a broken nose off of that, like early on
Yeah.
in, like his nose was like dented in. I was like, oh, and I was gonna leave a mark. I thought it was something else. I don't know. Who do you think got the better of the two, like in terms of like kicks and strikes?
I said Hideo because he got that freaking nose kick, and that was like that had to like kill it because that was like you must have hit him really hard in the nose, because he was like
Yeah.
swollen after.
Yeah, I would say that same thing. Hideo really like made he really made Alistair like push past his limits. He was red at the end of the match, and it was just unbelievable, unbelievable. For those of you who haven't watched NXT Takeover, go back and watch this match. It was a really good. It was some really good stuff.
Just watch the whole show. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
it was fun from start to finish. If you missed both SummerSlam and NXT, don't even bother with SummerSlam. Go straight to NXT. It was just too good. All right. Next we got Asuka versus Ember Moon. Thoughts, John?
Yeah, another group of or two people that were going at it for the
The women's championship.
women's title. I freaking think of it. But yeah, they were going at it with good moves, and Asuka of course winning, and she's still undefeated, right?
Yeah.
But like it made Moon look just like a freaking beast still, because
Yeah.
like she still like got her down, and probably it was like the hardest match Asuka probably had. So, and it made her look real good. She even got a standing ovation, for her match with her.
Yeah. I like to think of that finish very reminiscent to Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch back in NXT Takeover Unstoppable, where they both had a match, the hell of a match. Sasha had to cheat to win, and it told a similar story, but it was still really good. And Becky got that ovation at the end. Sasha had that ovation. It was amazing to me, right? No, and I look at that and I translate it to this, but this had its own particular feel. It was very distinct in its own right. A person who was undefeated for 500 plus days. The story that it told during this match. The person who has been undefeated for 500 plus days never cheated up until this very match. She had to use the ref. She had to pull the tights. She did everything she could. And that slowly brings up that trait from a previous wrestler back in the day with, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Here it's just always win at any cost. And Asuka, does that really well and cheats. And she cheated just to try and win. But, even cheating didn't get her, and that made Ember Moon look like a very formidable opponent. So that was some really good storytelling in that match for Asuka, for Ember. And based off of this match, I came off of this thinking we may be getting a round 3. And I wouldn't mind seeing a round 3. Why not? Although I think Asuka should still come out the winner here. I still want her undefeated going into the main roster. All this does, if they have a round 3, this just raises the likelihood of Ember Moon winning a third time. And I'm not opposed to that, but I would rather Asuka win. So, that's just my thoughts. Alright, let's get to Bobby Roode and Drew McIntyre. The main event here. So, John, thoughts?
It was a really good match. Again, they both look very strong. Freaking this is the first time I've ever seen Drew McIntyre since he was back in the main roster, and he looks so much different on my thoughts. But it was a really good match, and now Drew McIntyre's the new NXT champion, and now Bobby Roode is not, but I think that means he might be called up soon. Or he should, because why not? But it was a glorious match.
Of course, the pun is intended, and I love that. And speaking of glorious, he should be called up because he is glorious. Yeah, that was a hell of a match between these two. I thought Asuka should my bad. Bobby Roode should be getting called up soon after the main roster. Well, since I'm already talking about her, Asuka should too sometime soon. I see Bobby Roode going to Raw. I see Asuka going to SmackDown. Honestly, cannot wait. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And yeah, I think those two will really make the main roster look fun. My only concern, my only thing, my big, vague, yet very clear advice, I should say, to WWE. Don't mess them up. Please, do not mess them up. Let these characters shine. Let these characters flourish. Take a hands-off approach. That's really all you gotta do. Let them do their thing. Alright, so with all that being said, I came off of this feeling a natural, very good high off of this. I felt really good coming off of this. Now let's get to a show that doesn't make me feel so good. In fact, I woke up feeling really, really sick after it. It was a really bad realization. And normally I don't really give a show a thumbs down. Normally I don't, because I still find a lot more positives that outweigh the negatives. But here, it's just, I would be remiss in ignoring the negatives here. So, let's get to SummerSlam. This is the bad, everybody. Alright, so, John, is there anything you want to say before we break down the card here?
It could have been better, a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
The matches building up to the main events were very good, I thought.
Okay.
But the main events were just not, nothing that they should have been. They should have been way better than they were.
Mm-hmm.
But, I really liked a couple matches, and I disliked a lot of matches,
Mm-hmm.
But it could have been better at SummerSlam. It should have been better.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the
One of
last
the big
one of the big pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be another big pay-per-view until a while.
Mm-hmm.
So why not go all out? And they did not do that.
Mm-hmm. So, do you want to talk about the pre-show, or do you want to skip to the main card?
Well, let's talk about the pre-show, because I really like the Usos versus the New Day.
All right. So, let's get to that. Usos versus the New Day. What are your thoughts? Go ahead. Give it to me.
It was a really entertaining match. Usos are now our champions, tag team champions again. Which I'm glad. But there was a really good match. They were going back and forth. There wasn't no interference between each other. There was a lot of tagging in at the right moments when someone's about to do something to a guy, and they would tag in and they would get mistaken that guy that they just power bombed or something is not actually tagged in, and the guy coming in is actually there was a lot of that though. I thought a bit too much, but it was pretty good, and I just liked it. It was back and forth, and the ending was good with the Usos doing their double kick.
The double super kicks.
Yeah, but it was good. It was a good thing to start off SummerSlam.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I really enjoyed the match. I love that it was just pretty much clean. There was no, there was no controversy in here. They won cleanly, pretty much. New Day still have a rematch clause in the contract. I would not mind another month of this. Honestly, I don't mind it. These two really work well together on the mic. These two really work well together in the ring. Yeah, so I'd say go for it. It's one thing for a feud to drag on. It's another to carry on, in an extended amount of time. And these two managed to carry it on really well and entertain. So I say go for it. So let's talk about Neville and Tozawa. Thoughts?
Unexpected. I did not expect Neville to win. I thought it was just gonna be like a Tozawa win. It's gonna be over. You know, he's gonna keep the champion. Someone else is gonna have the shot at the champion. But no, Neville ended up taking the win here. It was a pretty good match, but I kind of feel bad for Tozawa being a champion for like a week.
Yeah.
Like a week. Not even a week.
It's like 6 days, basically.
Yeah, which just sucks.
Yeah.
But it was a good match. I wanted to see the other way, but some people probably thought I wanted to see Neville win.
Me, I'm just gonna be neutral on this one. Look, I don't really have any negatives to say about it. I thought the match itself was fine. I had no complaints about it. These two performed really well. They worked really hard. You know, I could see it. I thought the presentation was really well done. The delivery, everything was, you know, great for what it was. I mean, look, Tozawa holding the title for 6 days. I mean, it sucks. I honestly think he could have held it a little longer. Hell, I think he should have waited SummerSlam to make the change because of this particular action. Why even have Neville why even have Neville lose the title is my whole thing. But I mean, it is what it is. I think it was still a good match. I like Neville. I like Tozawa. You know, I'm just gonna play it. I'm just gonna play a little neutral on here. I thought it was a good match. I'll give it a pass. I'll give it a thumbs up. All right. So next, let's talk about the main card. Here we go. John Cena versus Baron Corbin. Thoughts, John?
First of all, I want to say Baron Corbin getting a new theme and a new like Timetron, which is not bad actually. I actually like it.
Yeah.
Better than his Shrek theme that I always seems like this is my swamp, and wearing the green pants and just looking like an ogre, or like having his like spy theme, or like he's coming in like a circle. Like this is much better. It fits his like lone wolf character. But it wasn't too bad of a match. John Cena taking the win. But it made Baron Corbin like seem kind of mad, and like I assumed that like he was mad and because he lost his Money in the Bank because of John Cena. And it made him look a little bit stronger than what he is. It still makes him, you know, kind of still makes him look like he's still like and like a fresh wrestler, because he is. So I don't expect him to beat someone like John Cena right away. But it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing. Corbin looked strong. I thought he did show a hell of a mean streak throughout this. Match itself wasn't my cup of tea, to be honest with you. I thought some parts showed some shines of brilliance, but it wasn't really anything special in my opinion. I think it did serve to make Corbin look good. And then Cena beating him. You know, there's gonna be a ton of people. Corbin was buried. No, he wasn't. He looks fine. He is fine. And Cena won a match. Move on. All right, Natalia versus Naomi. Here we go. This is the match I was looking forward to. John, thoughts?
very good match. I thought it was very
Mm.
good. Natalia winning. I did not think she was gonna win. I wanted her to win, and she did win, so that was good. She deserves it. And I thought Carmella was gonna come out, but I guess not. They kind of just teased it, thinking
Mm.
that she was gonna come out, but she just did not come out. But it was a good match. Um, made I kind of felt bad because Naomi was like crying, but you know,
Mm.
it was like her, I guess, being like a face makes her kind of like be a face. But it was a good match. They were they were moving around a lot. The wrestling itself was good.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was a good match. I like how Natalia won without Carmella coming in, and I'm glad that she hopefully holds a title for at least a little bit before
Mm.
Carmella comes in, and if she does succeed, I don't
Mm.
know if she's gonna, but yeah, but it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I was happy with the results, and yeah, it was good.
I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Hell, it was a hell of a match between these two. Very back and forth stuff. It was competitive. I loved it, every single minute of it. This was my one complaint about SummerSlam and these finishes. They're finishes. All right, so follow along with me. See if you notice a little pattern here. All right, so Natalia goes for a sharpshooter. Miss Naomi doesn't tap, right? So Naomi teases hitting her finisher, doesn't hit it. Natalia hits her sharpshooter a second time. Naomi taps out. Keep that in mind when I cover over the rest of the pay-per-views matches. So this match itself, really good stuff. Loved it. I was of course wrong on the prediction of Carmella cashing in. I thought she was gonna cash in, so I'm a little half right on my prediction, and I'll take it. I love the fact that Natalia is finally a women's champion now. You know, she hasn't had a title since 2010. That to me is just damning. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy here. So good for Natalia. That's what I say. All right. So next we got Big Cass versus the Big Show.
Ugh.
So, uh, John, thoughts, my man?
Um, not not my favorite. My dog is barking for no reason right now, but it was not good. Enzo got locked up in the shark cage. I don't know why he was even in the match. Um, I guess just to try to butt in, but ended up getting kicked with the one boot and being knocked out like he always does every single week. Um, Big Show looking weak, I guess. But this match didn't make anybody look really that strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like Big Cass beat up someone that was injured, and then just beat someone that always gets beat up. And
Yeah.
I don't know what they were trying to do here. Hopefully this is the end of it, and we're gonna move on from here.
All right. I came off of this feeling like it could have been way better. I feel like both of these men were told to do just two moves or two or three moves, but not really showcase anything. Like a Big Cass, he may be a big dude, but he is way more athletic than that. He has shown it on NXT. You know, I'm really surprised. Really surprised they didn't let him showcase a little more here. Enzo Amore in this match. He takes off his clothes. He gets his oils, which were hidden in his pants. You would think he was a damn cartoon character with all the stuff that he had. He had oil, and he just oiled himself up. He had
Gloves.
gloves. It was unbelievable. This guy was a walking gimmick. And he slides through the shark cage. He comes down, and then he goes, charges at Big Cass, and not surprisingly, takes a big boot, and then here is the finish. Big Cass goes for the big boot. Big Show kicks out. Big Cass goes for a second boot, then hits the Empire elbow, and Big Cass is your winner. Are we noticing the pattern yet? If not, keep following along with me. You'll see. You'll see. All right. So next, we got Randy Orton versus Rusev.
Say again?
Randy Orton versus Rusev, John.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Is there any worse
Is that
way?
even a okay, was it even was it
Go
even
ahead.
a match? Was it? Like, does it even count?
Technically, yes. The bell rang. I mean,
But like, okay, so Rusev comes out, or Randy Orton comes out, then Rusev comes out, running to Randy Orton, beats up Randy Orton for like a couple minutes only, and the match hasn't even started yet, and he throws Randy Orton in the ring, and they get in the ring, and the bell starts, and Rusev charges at Randy Orton. Randy Orton gets out of the way. Rusev hits the turnbuckle. Randy Orton hits RKO, pins him, done. Like, the match was literally far. It was shorter than Brock Lesnar's matches, even. Like, I never thought someone was gonna be Brock Lesnar in his fast matches, but Randy Orton did it under like a minute.
under
Maybe
30,
like 10, like
under 10
30
seconds.
seconds.
You know, it was just a one and done. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Literally.
I feel bad for Rusev because he deserves more.
I'm trying to find out what exactly Rusev did to, get in this spot. He comes back with so much promise. I would have thought it was finally over for him. This crap that they put him through. Same with Bray Wyatt. When he won the WWE title, I thought it was over for him. I thought he was finally getting that push that he needed. Only to have it last for about a month. And now Rusev, he comes back, has a very promising angle to deal with Shane McMahon. Nothing materializes out of it. Okay? He gets beaten by John Cena. And then there's this match, right? He attacks Randy Orton. The match goes on. He charges at Randy Orton. Randy Orton dodges, hits one RKO. That's done for him. I mean, I think it's just disgusting what they're doing to, the guys that are the future here. Rusev is going to stay for a while, I mean, granted, if you keep treating him like this, he might not. But he has the future here. He is the future here. Bray Wyatt, same thing. The future. Like them or not. You know what I mean? Don't treat these guys like crap. And, because like Samoa Joe, time is limited, Same with AJ Styles. He's 38 years old. He's not going to be around that much longer. He's not even that much older than John Cena. And I like that AJ Styles is getting pushed, don't get me wrong, but the fact that the younger guys like Rusev, it's the guy who's been homegrown talent. He is homegrown talent. I think Bray Wyatt is too. Back when he used to be Husky Harris, It's unbelievable that these guys are getting the shaft. You know what I mean? And rather than just mixing it all in, giving everybody a chance, mixing it up. Don't just make it the indie names to be the top stars. Don't make it just people from outside like Brock Lesnar to be the big names. Don't just make it homegrown talent, Mix it up. Make one guy a star who's homegrown talent. Make another guy, you know what I mean? Mix it up. Make everybody interesting. Try to find everybody's unique points and make them all interesting. I don't see why you can't do that. And the fact is, Rusev losing to Randy Orton in I don't know how many seconds. What? 5 seconds. Basically, it's disgusting to see him get treated like that. Disgusting. So next we got Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss. I had a fun time watching this match, honestly. These two went at it. These two went like hell on each other. But before I get my thoughts out of the way, John, what are yours?
It was a really good match. Again, they went at it. It was back and forth. They got in, made them look very strong, and Sasha Banks is now the women's champion. But it was a really good match. I liked it a lot. I was on the edge of my seat the whole match. It
Mm-hmm.
was one of the good matches. Again, I'm glad that both women's matches were very good today, and for SummerSlam, and at least that there's that.
Yeah, I would agree. I love this match. Like these two who legitimately hate each other can put away their egos aside and just put on a professional good match. I'm really happy to see that. Now I wouldn't say those those stiff potatoes as they say in the wrestling business. Those potatoes, which are just really hard, like stiff shots from Alexa to Sasha Banks, she really nailed her with those punches, like from the get go. I mean, even Sasha was just like, oh my god. You could see her pulling her hair. You could see her just going crazy on Alexa. Alexa doing some really good heel work here. Couldn't believe it. And Tasha had some stiff shots of her own too. Let's not forget those shining wizards we saw Sasha do. But I mean, just man, the stiffness of Alexa. I could not believe it. So yeah, these
It's
two.
one of her best matches.
Yeah, I would say that for sure. I think one of her best singles matches too. Like, I watch her singles matches. I've said this before. She needs the right dance partner to get a good match out of her. And that no, I wouldn't even say it like that because that really puts on a bad connotation about Alexa Bliss. I'm not trying to say she's lazy or that she's really clumsy or anything, but like it's just like there's certain wrestlers she works with and she doesn't really get the best chemistry with. Naomi, she's had some good matches with Naomi, for example, but usually those are like very few and far between. Their chemistry they're clustery a little bit. They don't have their chemistry down yet. Becky as well. Her matches with Becky, they were one match good, one match off, one match good, one match off. It was very hard to tell with Alexa. And you notice Alexa mostly her best matches are the multi women matches, because then she kind of hides it a little bit, and she does show some strong points at that point. She really works well because like her triple threat match. Like one of my favorite Alexa Bliss matches was back in NXT when she wrestled against Carmella and Nia Jax in a triple threat match. You'll see what I'm talking about. Alexa did look really good. Now, getting back to this match, it was a really good match. I thought singles wise, easily by far Alexa's best. I thought I thought she did a hell of a job with Sasha. These two work really well together. And the match, it was really good. Honestly, my favorite spots were just the potatoing, like the really stiff shots. That's really all I could say about that. Like there's really like there's some cool spots here and there. Um but like just the stiffness of this match. Woo! Let's get to the finish. All right. So Sasha goes for the bank statement. Alexa Bliss tries to roll through. So Sasha fails that first bank statement. But afterwards, not long after, Sasha hits a second bank statement, and then Alexa taps. Are we seeing the pattern yet? No? Well, then I'll explain it to you right now. Communication. Alright? we've seen this pattern 3 separate times this entire card, and the first two were back to back. That noticeable, where you fail the first time and then go for it immediately after the second time. That is my only real criticism of these matches that I've seen. And I really hate that because it shows a lack of creativity. So it's just that's really my only thing. It's really uncreative. You know what I mean? Who's writing these finishes? Get creative with it. You're a creative team. So that was really my only like criticism of these matches that I really hated. So other than that though, really good so far, so good. Except for Randy versus Rusev. That was just an insult. So next, let's get to Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. John, thoughts?
I liked it. It was a very good match. Finn Balor comes out as the Demon, and it was kind of like funny because they were like both trying to intimidate each other off of their like their gimmick of being like evil or like being yeah, basically evil.
I would
You
say Finn
know,
Balor did a better job at that.
yeah, he did a better job, but um, Bray Wyatt like did the selling. I thought he did a really good job on it. Like even just like with his like crazed eyes, like seeing the
Yeah.
what like he can't believe what he's seeing,
Yeah.
like what's happening, and it just made Finn Balor look so much better because
Yeah.
it's like that like Bray Wyatt is actually scared and like for
Yeah.
once.
He really did put over Finn Balor that really well. I was really surprised at how well Bray Wyatt's acting really was well done, and I shouldn't be surprised because it was good stuff. I was just really surprised at how well he made him look. Like I don't know why. It was just kind of surreal to see Bray Wyatt looked really scared at Finn Balor. It was unbelievable. Ooh, ooh, that was bad. It was unbelievable. I thought that was some really good stuff. Um, Finn Balor, I know he performed extremely well. I think the storytelling on the commentary really did help it because they pointed out the one thing: the Demon Finn, the Demon takes Finn Balor to a whole new level, and we did see that honestly. Like Finn Balor was working a lot more smoothly, and like I say that in terms of like he seemed a lot more conditioned. He didn't seem worn out, and it was just he was a lot more fluent in this. At one point I saw Finn Balor kind of do a backwards pop up and in one solid motion, like countering one of Bray Wyatt's moves. It was really cool. Um, I just thought that was really cool. Finn Balor defeated Bray Wyatt off of one coup de grace, and that ended pretty much the win streak of Bray Wyatt. It's kind of funny to say Bray Wyatt and win streak in the same sentence because they both almost never happen. But it's just it was just too funny. It was a good match. I enjoyed it, loved it, have no complaints. So, all right, let's get to the next match here. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins versus Sheamus and Cesaro. So, what do you think of this match, John? Thoughts?
I liked it. He was really good. I expected it. I had high expectations for this match, and they were exceeded. They did a lot of good spots and stuff, and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins worked really well together. And then it made Dean Ambrose look like the lunatic he is. That he doesn't care for pain, and he'll keep on going, because at one point, Seth Rollins was like taking a nap outside for like a while, and Dean Ambrose was just facing Sheamus and Cesaro by himself, which was like great. And even though Dean Ambrose was getting beat up, he didn't tap. He didn't tap at all, and The finish was with Seth Rollins coming in on getting on Dean Ambrose giving him a dirty deed.
Mm.
Um, who was it? Was it on Cesaro or Sheamus?
It was on Sheamus.
It was on Sheamus, but
Mm.
it was really good. I really liked it. It
Mm.
was a good match. And now Sheamus and Sheamus and Cesaro is not the tag team titles champions anymore. There are our new 2/3 Shield reunion is tag team champions now. I liked it. It was good. How about you?
I would say the same thing. I enjoyed it. I thought these two worked really well together. A hell of a thing I noticed is that these two did a hell of a lot more double team moves than they did when they were in the Shield. It was just something I picked up here. Um, then again, Dean and Seth were never really in tag teams by themselves. In terms of 2/3, it was always Roman and Seth back at the time. But yeah, I just thought like it was a hell of a match. I enjoyed it, back and forth stuff. I especially enjoy watching Cesaro and Ambrose work because those two just have the best chemistry of the four, at least in my opinion. And that's not to knock on Sheamus and Rollins. I just thought it was really good stuff. Yeah, and the fact that they won the titles here was really cool to see. Ambrose has now become yet added to, another added to the list of Triple Crown champions. Won the United States, or a mid card title, a main title, and a tag titles. So good for him. It was a really good match. Really enjoyed every single thing. I don't have any complaints about it. Yeah, I just look forward to seeing what they do next. Well, maybe. All right, next I was asleep for this match. Because I guess I was tired or something. I fell asleep in the middle of this match. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, and all I remember is that they went charging at each other for a little bit, and yeah, they had a quick back and forth, and then I fell asleep. John, I'm gonna have to rely on you to be my mouth here and fill me in on what happened this entire match.
Well, I could do that for you. So, uh, Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens, Kevin Owens and AJ Styles came out, and of course it's Shane McMahon as the special guest referee. Um, I expected some interference, and I'm gonna get into that because there is some interference, but not as much as I thought there would be. But it first started out as them kind of just going at each other. They were both pumped up and going back and forth, and he would pull off. He first pulled. They haven't even rang the bell, so then he pulled off AJ Styles, and then he pulled off Kevin Owens, and it was sort of a back and forth match. It was a good match, but it was back and forth because they would kind of like Shane McMahon would be kind of in the way, and AJ Styles would be pushed to Shane McMahon, and Shane McMahon went out the ring, and Kevin Owens does like a Styles clash, and then he gets him in like another move, in like in a submission hold, and
Calf crusher?
Kevin Owens huh?
Was it the calf crusher?
I believe, and Kevin Owens tapped, but Shane McMahon was outside the ring, and then AJ Styles was, of course, was mad because he didn't see it. He didn't see that he clearly tapped out, and
Well, why
so
was Shane out the
again,
ring?
because Kevin Owens had pushed
Oh, okay.
Um, pushed AJ Styles into Shane McMahon. He went out the ring, and of course that happened. And then, of course, he was getting mad at Shane McMahon. AJ Styles was getting mad, and Shane was like, you pushed me out of the ring. It's your fault. And they kind of had like a little push, and then he pushes. they push back each other back and forth, and Shane McMahon pushes AJ Styles. And Kevin Owens does a roll up
Hmm.
on AJ Styles, and but they kick out and they keep going on for a while. And again, it happened again where this time Kevin Owens was pushed
Okay, hold on.
into
I just to stop you real quick. Just had to acknowledge this. Pay rocks, everybody. Says to the chat room, fuck this pay-per-view. I could not agree with you more. All right, sorry about that. Go ahead, John.
then it was like the same thing, but back it was just a lot. I like this match, but it was too much of like this. It was like deja vu, but
Uh
just
huh.
different people. And Kevin Owens was pushed into Shane McMahon, causing this time,
A lot of repetitive
uh,
spots.
yeah, and this time Kevin Owens had got AJ Styles in a pin. He did not. Shane McMahon comes. He had already had. It would have already been a 3 count by the time Shane McMahon had got in the ring and started counting. And of course, his 1, 2, boom. Um, AJ Styles kicks out. Kevin Owens gets mad because he was like, it would have been 3. And again, they push each other, and again pushing Kevin Owens back into a roll up of AJ Styles. Then they go back and forth again. I think a Styles clash, and then boom, AJ Styles retains the title and wins.
I mean,
And like it was good, but like it was like the same thing over and over again.
mm,
And there was like several Styles clashes. It was just a lot of repetitive stuff. There just maybe if it happened once of everything, it
mm,
wouldn't have been so bad,
okay. I
or it
think
would
that.
have been better. It was good. It wasn't bad. It
Mm,
could have been better though.
mm. Well, those sound like some fair points. All right, I really can't say much on it myself. Frankly, from what it sounds like, a lot of repetitive spots. I personally would say, hey, I hope this is the last we see because I think these two can these two can just just face other people, shine with other people. Um, these two together, I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie at this feud. I felt like it could have been better. It hasn't been what I thought it could have been. So that's really my thought process on this. I don't know how good this match was, but from what it sounds like, it doesn't seem like a positive review, or at least too much of a positive review um, at best. So overall, John, would you say thumbs up or thumbs down on this match?
Oh, this one's like in the middle.
In the
Seriously,
middle. Okay.
it was like we are the bar when they do the thumb in the middle. That's like my feeling because it could have been a lot better because these guys are there's a lot of talent,
Mm.
but they just like how they planned this was not good.
Mm.
Could have been better, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't no Rusev and Randy Orton.
All right. This is a match that really disappointed me. Jinder. Oh my God. Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I woke up just in time for this match. Thankfully, I woke up just in time for Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance and everything. I love the fact that they brought back Lee England. Kind of a waste when, in hindsight, when you consider what was put into this match. So this match, I don't think was longer than 15 minutes. I think for starters, Jinder Mahal looked like a chump at the beginning of this match throughout most of it, and then after that, where do I begin? Then after that, the Singh brothers get involved. Shinsuke Nakamura clears the kitchen, so to speak, and then after that Colossus, and a poorly executed one at that. It was not really well. He fucked up getting his arm around him, and it was something else. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see what people see in Jinder Mahal. He has not done anything for me, and this match is yet another epitome of this. Unfreaking believable. So the one thing that kills me about this is that they wasted Shinsuke Nakamura's first loss to Jinder Mahal in the worst possible freaking way. I mean, granted, I wouldn't even want to say worst possible way. It could always be worse, right? He could lose to a roll-up in 3 seconds. Looking your way, Corbin. But this was just something else. I mean, what, John, do you have any words here? Because I cannot think of the words that describe my frustration at the moment.
I don't know, but I just want to kind of go back to Big Cass and Big Cass and the Big Show, because I just looking at the SummerSlam stories on Snapchat, and there was a Snapchat of when Enzo Amore squeezed himself out, and someone had recorded like a little snap, and their snap says he squeezed out himself just to get kicked in the face, which is just like, it has dot dot dot, like, it just, you can't believe it, like, what a waste. And that's how I felt about that match. But let's revert back to what we were talking about. I just wanted to say that just because I saw it and I thought it was hilarious.
All right. I mean, there's just so much wrong with this. Something is seriously wrong with this company. You have a star in Shinsuke Nakamura, and you have him lose like that. Like, it's just unbelievable. What
to
a
like
waste
horrible,
of a first
like,
loss.
botched move. He lost to like a like, well, I don't even know what that move is called at Jinder, his
It's
finisher.
called the Colossus, I believe.
The Colossus. He didn't even do it well.
That's the worst part. Like, you couldn't even call an audible, kick out, and then just redo the spot or something. Make it look better. Do an avalanche Colossus. Hell, I was just complaining about this earlier where they do the finisher twice anyway. Why not have a fourth person do it? Do that bastard spot 4 times in a row. I don't mind. I mean, he was gonna lose anyway, right? Make him look a little bit stronger, cause that was terrible, terrible. And it was just boggling to me. I just could not believe it. Think about that. Shinsuke Nakamura's first loss in the main roster is to Jinder Mahal. I can't wrap my head around that. I can't. Like, it's just something else. And it's just, yeah, man, John, what are your thoughts, man?
I don't know what WWE is thinking. Like, the Bollywood boys were okay, but now they're just, why are they here? Like, seriously, I'm getting tired of them interfering. Jinder Mahal is yet to have a match that he's not cheated in. I'm glad the Khali didn't come out. Thank God. That was at least one positive thing. But yeah, like, is he ever gonna win a match that is not cheated with the Bollywood boys or the Singh brothers or whatever they want to be called today? Just, it was annoying. Like, why? You got Shinsuke Nakamura, and you have a great opportunity. Everybody wants to see him win. Why do you have him not win? Why? Like, I don't understand what they were thinking. I just don't know. Like it makes me mad.
So yeah, I just look. I pretty much can't say anything else without ranting at this point. Um, I mean, it was just really frustrating, to be honest with you. Nothing. It was really frustrating. Like that bastard finisher, the way it was pulled off, poorly executed. God damn it. That really wrap your head around that. I can't wrap my head around this. And I've said this like 1,000 times. Shinsuke Nakamura's first loss is to Jinder Goddamn Mahal. I can't. I can't wrap my head around that. Now, you're about to hear John rant a little more. So, we got the Fatal 4-Way. Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. This was the match that pissed off John a little more. So, go ahead, John, take it away.
Ooh, my buddy, part-timer, Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, and Roman Reigns. A lot of potential they could have, but no, this was a whole match of everybody using their same move every time. And first of all, the match starts off with Braun Strowman like wrecking everybody. So I don't know, first, like he just wrecks all these people, and in the finish of this match, he's not even anywhere to be seen. Like the man that was just taking out everybody is nowhere to be found at the end of the match. And he's putting Brock Lesnar through tables. And the beginning was good. It was good. Like Braun Strowman was looking really strong. And he put Lesnar through 2 tables and threw a table on top of him. And that was great. And then it just went downfall. Everybody just doing the same moves. The Kahina Clutch, even though I like Samoa Joe, again, Kahina Clutch. Or freaking the Superman Punch and the Suplex. And, like, Braun Strowman just basically just pushing people in this after that. He was just pushing people. And just, I'm tired of the same moves. Does no one have any variety? Like, there's no variety in this. Superman Punch, he probably Superman Punch like 50 people, like 50 times. Like, why? Does he not, do these, like, people have no other move set? Like, do people tell him not to do any other moves and have a variety? Like, does anybody even like the suplex? Like, I never see anybody wear a stupid Suplex City shirt. Like, you never see anybody wear that. Like, I don't understand what's with the no variety, you know? And Brock Lesnar ended up winning, which I'm disappointed. There's 3 people. I don't care if Roman Reigns won. I just did not want to see Brock Lesnar win, but I guess that, you know, he was putting his whole career on the line, and they don't want to lose Mr. Part-Timer. He'll come, you know, he's gonna take the championship, and he's gonna see you guys at WrestleMania. I'll be back the week before it to fight whoever. Like, I just don't understand what they were doing with this match, and like, it seems like no one's happy. Like, cause I read Instagram posts, and everybody's like, "What is this? Why you had all these people to win, and this is who you choose is Brock Lesnar?" And it was the time to, like, this was a time to change titles. This was a big pay-per-view. It's SummerSlam. It's next to WrestleMania, as in popularity, and you don't like engage on this. Like, you don't want to change the title. Like, what's he gonna lose the title at? You know, it's not gonna look good when he lose the title to whoever. Now I don't even know who's gonna win it. Is anybody ever gonna beat him? He freaking beat Braun Strowman. Like, who's left to beat Brock Lesnar? Freaking, like, I don't know what they're gonna do from here. And this was like the most important pay-per-view to make a title change this big. It's just annoying. I just wish anybody else could have won, and just at least have a little variety as well while doing it.
Okay, I want to break down this match a little bit. So, let's be honest here. There's not too much to break down. I mean, John pretty much broke this match's one big flaw is the lack of move variety. Right? There was a big lack of move variety. Joe, who is a submission specialist, or not only that, he also specializes in a lot of punches. He has a flurry of kicks and punches and a plethora of moves. He probably has the biggest moveset of all four of these guys. Nowhere to be seen. All we saw was the coquina clutch, right?
First of all, I just want to interrupt you. We hardly saw Joe in this match. Joe was off to the side most of the match. We didn't see most of him. And he didn't even do like one kick or one punch or anything. It was all just all the coquina clutch. I just want to say that.
That was a good point. That I didn't even think about that. That was a hell of a thing that was brought to my attention. Where was Joe? He didn't appear that much. That was pretty disappointing. But getting back to it, Brock Lesnar. You have a guy who is a former UFC fighter, an MMA fighter, a former amateur wrestler, double NCAA champion, whatever it is, right? You have all these accolades about him. He has a plethora of moves too. Nowhere to be seen. No punches, no knees, just super kicks. Just German suplexes and F5s. Roman Reigns, the man who's a big striker, very athletic. He has a hell of a moveset too. When he shows it, you know what I mean? It's small, but it's still a pretty good moveset, you know? He has that power bomb, he has the drive by, he has all these moves. What do we see out of him? Superman punches and spears. Braun Strowman. I mean, let's be honest, he's a bit of a smash mouth guy. You know what I mean? He's a big dude, so his moveset is a little limited, but he still has quite a moveset to go with. He, for whatever reason, what does he do? Power slams. Power slam after 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 power slam. So, you know, it's disappointing when you see things like that. And the lack of variety it kills you. It kills you when you're watching this match. I am not a professional critic. I don't consider myself a professional at this. I am a fan at its core, and that's how I look at these things. As a fan, let me ask you, the audience, right? As a fan, would you guys pay $50 for this type of match? John, would you? To pay $50 for this entire match?
No.
As your main event? Neither would I. Because what is it worth? It's not even worth $10. This match that was not even enjoyable. You know what I mean? It was so clear and lazy that really disappointed me here. So, you know, the next thing we saw in this match, we saw a lot of repetition. I've seen these spots before. So, Braun Strowman put Brock Lesnar through 2 tables, picked up the table, and literally buried Brock Lesnar with the table. I thought that was really cool. Up until I saw Braun Strowman sitting on the steel steps right afterwards, looking gassed. Which I'll get to that in a minute. Paul Heyman's acting is great here. That's the one plus I'll give in this match. He really sold it. He reminded me of a mother, like, looking after her child. Like, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? It was great. Paul Heyman, I love Paul Heyman. Hearing him yell and just go crazy and turn it up to 11. Paul Heyman was the only entertaining thing in this match. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, Braun Strowman, he did have his shine here. He looked really good here. That's another plus for Braun Strowman. He looked really, really strong. He cleared the kitchen. He pretty much swept the rug. He washed the dishes. He cleaned the stove. He did all that stuff. He cleared the kitchen, right? And he cooked his own full course meal. But pretty much, up until that point, it was power slam after power slam after power slam. At one point, I thought Braun Strowman was actually going to win this match. I honestly thought Braun Strowman was going to pin Brock Lesnar. So, kudos to WWE. You got me there. But it was still a lot of the same thing. And Braun Strowman, it looked bad on all accounts. I mean, the big thing that really disrupted this match was the lack of repetition. That ruined a lot of the praises that I have here, is the lack of variety. And it sucks. It sucks. I mean, there's no other way I could put it. It sucks. Braun Strowman. Let's get to here. He looked gassed like hell in this match. I mean, gassed to the gills. He was after that, he was tired after burying Brock Lesnar with the table. He was gassed. He was sweating all over the place. He was something else, and I was like, what did he eat before this match? Because, I mean, look, I hate to point out these things, but it's very urgent that, you know what I mean? As a wrestler, you gotta know these things. You gotta be well conditioned for matches. You know what I mean? So, I don't know if Braun Strowman didn't control his breathing or what, but it was very, very noticeable. He was out of breath, and that kind of looked bad on him. It just, you gotta be in wrestling shape. That was kind of sad to see. But, it was just a hell of a way to close the show. And let's get into the finish here. So, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar were the last two here. Braun Strowman, like John said, was nowhere to be seen. Samoa Joe, I don't even remember what the last move he took, and he was nowhere to be seen. And after all that, it was cleared between Roman and Brock. And Roman goes for a spear. Brock counters into an F5. Brock Lesnar is your winner. So, thanks a lot, Brock. See you next year, I guess. I mean, sorry, John, I took your joke, but that's basically what it is, right? I mean, yeah, man, I don't know. I honestly don't know. So, overall, I'm giving SummerSlam a thumbs down. John, and the undercard did not make up for it. Just because you have a lot of title changes that should have been a long time coming to begin with, it does not excuse the miserable last two matches that we got. Disappointing. Sorry. I just wanted to say that out there. John?
It was a thumbs down for me. It had good matches. I like the women matches. I like the tag team matches. They did good, but the singles matches could have been 10 times better. And where was the Intercontinental Championship? Like,
in the pre-show.
I know, but why wasn't it defended? They could have had something.
I guess if I were to venture a guess, maybe wait a little more time for Jason Jordan. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I guess it just seems like no one knows what they're doing with anybody anymore.
It was a hell of a thing. Like, I couldn't believe it. All right, so any final thoughts about SummerSlam or NXT, John?
NXT was great. If you haven't watched it, go watch the whole thing. The whole thing is great. It's short. It's a short card, but it's great.
Okay.
SummerSlam, you can skip it. You know, if you do want to watch it, just watch the women and the tag team matches.
Well said. Okay. Uh, Buy or sells of the week. Do we have any, John? Do you have any in mind?
Uh, Not really. No, I don't. I'm still just my mind cannot make any up because I'm just still thinking about what happened. Like why?
Yeah. I honestly can't either. I mean, it was just something else. Yeah, I don't have any either. Let's see. Um, so w- yeah, that's really it. Match recommendation of the week. Let's get into one. Just to kind of lift our spirits up. So I don't believe I've done this with you, John, before. So basically, you just recommend any match from any era of any time, from any promotion, really. And yeah, so do you have any matches in mind you would like to recommend to the people?
Hmm, a match to recommend. Uh, I just recently watched again because I just found it watching the cruiserweight back then with Rey Mysterio and Spike Dudley. I thought it was a really good match.
Hmm.
They like they were flying around everywhere and like my God, they were like why isn't the cruiserweight's good now, but like why can't they be doing that like all the time, you know? What they did in that one match. I recommend that match. It's really good. It's an old match, but it's really good. I think I like it.
Well said. All right, mine is Christian versus Randy Orton at SummerSlam 2011. I mean, that was a good pay-per-view altogether. Go ahead and watch that match specifically. I think you guys will be very delighted by that one.
Oh, now
Um,
I'm gonna. Have to, I think now I'm gonna have to do a SummerSlam match. You did a SummerSlam match.
you don't have to.
No, I'm gonna do it now.
Well, too bad. Too bad. You already said yours.
No, I could do another one.
No, you can't. That's breaking the rules. You're breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, I can.
No.
No, I'm gonna say it.
No.
We're gonna watch
That's sexual
watch
harassment.
TLC SummerSlam 2000.
That's sexual harassment. All right. Okay, that's stupid. Yeah, that was a good match.
That was a really good match. TLC, the first table out in chairs, SummerSlam 2000. Hardys, Dudleys, Eddy and Christian. Very
So
good
Christian
match.
got the recommend twice this week, just so you guys
Yep.
know. All right.
Bring Christian back for one match.
All right.
Just kidding now.
Oh, here's a final thought I just thought of that I didn't announce here. A word of advice to Braun Strowman, even though he won't ever listen to this podcast probably. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know, pace yourself. Pace yourself. Don't get gassed like that time. That was again really looked bad. It kept sticking out to me, and I know this because I'm a former wrestler. It just conditioning plays a big factor. So, all right. Um, sorry. All right. Big announcement before we close the show. Finally, so I'm going to be taking a break from reviewing WWE for a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to even be watching the product at this point because SummerSlam just took me to a whole new level of just disappointment. I will be watching NXT, and instead of reviewing the main roster stuff, I will be reviewing NXT and Lucha Underground on a weekly basis, or I will find something else to review, if not Lucha Underground. So, stay tuned for all of that. And taking my place was initially going to be Eddie Nigma, but he's got his own stuff going on. And I don't want to bother him at this time, at this point. Hell, I messaged him earlier today about wanting to podcast with me and John, but he didn't respond. So I don't know if he's up for podcasting again. So I don't want to bother him. All right. But taking my place will be John Scare until he says, "Hey man, I don't really want to do this anymore. You got to find somebody else." So till further notice, frankly, I feel like you, the audience, needs a fresher set of ears and a new voice to fulfill those ears. So taking my place for the weekly main roster stuff will be John Scare.
You'll be hearing my beautiful voice for a couple weeks until I get tired of it. But I'm willing to do this for the fans of Eduardo Betancourt, of Eddie Lynch.
Drink it in,
willing
man.
to do it.
No, play.
Willing to do it.
As Triple H.
John Scare, a.k.a. John Adonis. Or John Cornette, or whatever you want to call me.
That's a little inside joke, just so you guys know. John Adonis. All right, you heard it here first, folks. So
I'll be covering freaking SmackDown and Raw. Hopefully they're good. Or I'm pretty SmackDown probably be good. I'll pray for Raw. They need to do something to keep me interested.
All right. So, with all that being said, I don't really have anything else to say here. So, after show announcement, if you're in the area of California next week, there will be a show in Pomona, California called Rival Pro Wrestling. Be sure to check that out at the American Legion Post. Support members of the GCW cast, because two guys on the creative team, two of the promoters, I'm going to keep kayfabe here, Doc Lesnar and Quincy Jones Go, running their own promotion. Yours truly will be there in attendance to watch the show itself. So, if you're a fan of the show, be sure to come by and check us out. Gold Coast Wrestling, no known date yet on our first show, but we are having a show in November if plans stayed the same. And yeah, with all that being said, follow me on Twitter, eJose98. If you want something on the show, if you want something discussed on the show, message me live or email me at eddylynch16@gmail.com to get something read on the show or discussed on the show. eddylynch16@gmail.com. eddylynch16@gmail.com. Cannot be any more clear than that. John, do you have any after show plugs, my man?
You can follow my Twitter. I'm gonna try to be posting more on Twitter. John_Esquer, ESQUER. Yeah, follow me. I'm gonna try to post some stuff. But yeah, you can follow me there if you guys really want to. If not, that's fine. I really don't care. But catch me reviewing Raw and SmackDown for next week.
All right, cool. Good stuff. All right, so with all that being said, here we are, guys. We are out.